Hey everybody, Danny Maud here. Thanks for joining us. This week I would like to increase your club head speed. I don't know if you found this, but maybe you're out on the golf course and you're finding some of your fellow golfers are hitting it prodigious distances, but they're doing it with what you see is a pretty easy looking golf swing, and it looks surprising how far it goes, particularly if you're putting loads of effort in and you're not getting the power that you think you deserve. Well, we're going to cover the concept of lag and why it is so important and one of the key ingredients for you generating the power and the club head speed that you need to hit those balls much further. Before we do, if you're new to the channel and this is one of your first videos, consider subscribing. We release content like this every single week to try and help you improve your game. So, what is lag? Why is it important, and how do you go about achieving it? Well, you will have seen probably images, if you've come across the concept of lag, looking something like this. A lag position is when the club comes down here and the wrist angle here is maintained. This is what we call lag. So the hands get to about hip height, the club almost with the right arm here is at a 90-degree angle, and then right at last minute the club fires through, and that late, what we call late hit, generates the club head speed necessary to give you the extra yardages. A lot of people who don't get lag look something like this. They've released this angle here, and with all the release they're releasing the power over there in the wrong position as opposed to right down at the bottom. All well and good, that's what lag is, but understanding it is not going to make you any better necessarily. So I'm going to show you how we go about achieving it, because there's two aspects to lag. You'd first of all, in order to try and create it, you need to understand that there is also body lag as well as club head lag. So, body lag. Those people who are often releasing early and generating all their power, releasing all their power over here as opposed to at the golf ball, have a body that looks generally like this. They're swinging back, and what happens is their torso, the top part of the body, is hitting very hard from the top. The slicers of the world tend to be those type of golfers. So we're getting here and the top half is going very hard at the golf ball. What we actually need in the body is this. We need the top half needs to delay while the bottom half goes. So something like this. If I do this in slow motion, the top half gets to about here with a nice good turn. The lower half now starts to unwind, and then finally the top half starts to come through. So the top half lags behind the lower half turning. But the question is how do you go about achieving that? You can't go to a golf course and start thinking of these things. It's too difficult. You need to train the body. So this is something you can do right now at home. So what you do, put your feet fairly close together, and I want you to feel this. Do it nice and slow to start off. We get into your golf posture, turn your torso to the back, and then you step, because you've moved the lower half now, and then you go. Watch this again. I'm turning, I step, then I go. And I would do it that slowly to start off with, so you can really kind of sense the big difference between lower half and upper half. So it's a turn, a step, and a go. And then what we do is we simply just start to gradually increase the pace of this. Turn, step, go. 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 Then take the golf club. Try to imagine, try and recreate those same feelings, okay? You might want to do the same thing. So it's turn, step, go. Notice this. Turn, step, go. The body now is lagging behind. We're getting the right sequence to deliver that extra power into the golf ball. Turn, step, go. Increase the pace of this. Turn, step, go. Then let's take a golf ball doing the same thing. I'm not going to do the step drill, although you can. If you do the step drill when you're hitting the golf ball, put it on a tee pad, make it nice and easy. But I'm just going to go straight in and hit this one. So it's a turn, a step, and a go. Get the same thing. Turn, step, and go. Really feels like there's a delay in the top half coming through. That is the first part of trying to get lag. You've got to get the body working in the correct sequence. Trying to work on lag with a club head to start off with is almost futile, because you need to get the natural body motion almost delivering it, which brings us on to the next point. How do we then therefore get the club head lag? Well, let's start with where most people start. They try to hold this position here. They almost try to achieve this, and then right last minute try and flick the hands. That is not how we create lag. We don't create lag either by holding the wrist and then holding this angle on the way through. Think about it. If you're holding the angle on the way through, there's no club head speed. We need speed through the impact area. So this is how I want you to go about creating the lag. The first thing is to feel it and do it very slowly. Lag again is what is the club head is lagging behind something. So as the club swings back and we move forward, this big lump of mass swings behind me, starting to swing this way, and as I change direction with the lower section, change direction, the club then goes, hang on a second, wait for me. It keeps going this way until it realizes it's lagging behind, and then comes back and then fires through. But you need to try and feel this. So watch, in order to create it, you need the wrists that are fairly soft. We don't want in a sense of really tight grip. We don't want tight and stiff wrists. We need the wrists soft enough to be passive, so that when this weight, our big mass of metal, swings back here, the wrists are soft enough to be forced to bend. They also need to be soft enough to be so they're allowed to react to the natural forces that this movement we just created with the body creates. So watch this. I'm swinging back, and I'm changing direction. Look at the looseness here. Swing back and fire, fire. Look at the lag there, natural, created by what? Torso goes back, legs go forward. Torso, step, and fire. Now, let's have a look at this in action here. So I'm softer with the wrists, my torso goes back, lower goes forward, and I get that lovely whip and snap at the bottom. At no stage, by the way, am I trying to hold this angle. I'm allowing it to release. I'm allowing the natural forces to happen because my wrists are passive. And final point here, you'll notice I've put a little gate here to go for, because one of the things I find when people are trying to get lag, as I said, is they're often trying to hold this angle way too long, and when they do try and get lag, they start smashing it out to the right, because now what they've done is they've held the angle too long, the face is wide open. So at some stage you need the feeling of releasing. Now, if you lose lag, it's usually because you're trying to hit the golf ball. We don't want to hit the golf ball. Why? We want to hit through the ball, because if you go at the ball, you're going to release, that's going to be your end product, you're going to release a lag way too early, you're going to release it to here. We want to release to the target, so look, if we release to the target and through here, the lag will naturally release later. Very important. So when you combine the body, the sensation of the passive wrists, and all we do here is set up the target, we're now going to hit through the gates. Trying to keep it almost, imagine here, this is like a almost, I'm going to put a bar on top like the bottom part of a rugby post. I'm going to fire the ball underneath the gate here. So we swing back, fire through. That's all we're doing, back, fire through. Back here, fire through. Let's just finish off by having a look from this side. So let's summarize, what is lag? Lag is something that looks like this, but isn't a still image. It is absolutely, from here, the club head is absolutely flying. How do you go about creating it? Step one, you've got to learn the fitting of the correct sequence in the golf swing comes initially from the body. This is one thing I would say, if anybody could learn this, it would massively improve the natural look and rhythm of the golf swing, and it's simply this. You're turning your shoulders this way, you're stepping and you're going. A few exercises at home, a couple minutes every single day. 1, 2, 1, 2. How do you transfer this when you're not stepping? The sensation, some of the players, like, I mean, the great Jack Nicklaus used to feel like when he got to the top of his backswing, he felt he was almost squashing a tomato with his left heel, and that was the feeling, putting pressure, and that's him starting with the lower part and then delivering the upper part. So there are ways that you can take this immediately to the golf course, but I would certainly work on that sensation, learn the feeling of the correct coordination first before you start hitting golf balls out on the course. The second thing obviously is we then need the lag of the club head. Lag of the club head is just natural forces at work. When you swing the club back here and you suddenly change direction, you've got this big mass of weight. It's flowing behind you. It's still going behind you when you decide to turn, but because you're turning now, it lags. It keeps going for a little bit, it lags, and then finally says, hang on a second, wait for me. It then comes in and then fires through. But in order to create that, you're going to have a fairly soft grip and certainly soft wrists to allow that force of this mass to help or react or interact with them wrists. If you're holding it too stiff, the wrists are too firm, there's no way that you're going to create natural lag. Often feels like you lose a bit of control with this, but losing control is one of the main factors of actually gaining control. I often say to many of my clients, give up control to get control. And then finally, we said, maybe set up a gate. Only because sometimes when people are playing, they're trying to get this lag, and then what they do is they leave the face wide open because actually they don't actually release the golf club through. You got to remember, we are trying to create the lag, but we want to also get it releasing. So setting up almost like, I kind of imagine these as rugby posts here, and we're going to try and hit the ball underneath them. All we're going to do is get yourself set, get that motion in, and then from there, release the club underneath the rugby posts. Getting that lovely penetrating flight, but ultimately what you're doing here is you're learning the sensation of lag. Very, very important. So, of course, look guys, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up, and if you think any of your friends could benefit from a video like this, maybe they're struggling, you can see them put a lot of effort into their golf swing and they need a bit of extra power, please share it. And if you want to receive this content in your inbox every single week, press the subscribe button and the bell. But until next week, have a great golfing week.